absolutely amazing. We have got for you on advanced orders today from Jonathan and Charlotte the Perhaps Love CD album at an incredible £9.97. No P&P to add on to that whatsoever. The perfect gift for yourself. It's a real treat. I've been enjoying it all weekend. And of course, maybe as a gift for someone else coming up a little bit later in the year. We are thrilled to have you guys back with us in the studio. Amazing. Jonathan and Charlotte, welcome to QVC in the morning show. It does take your breath away, and although, you know, for many of us who remember the 2012 story of Britain's Got Talent, there are so many more people on a daily basis being introduced to your amazing gift, really. Tell us a little bit, Charlotte, if I come to you first of all, because you really got the ball rolling with this, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I applied for the show, like telling Johnny that I'd applied, and I kind of sent him a text afterwards being like, I've applied for, you know, the biggest talent show in the UK, hope you don't mind. And he said yeah, and that's kind of how it began, really. And months later, we found out we actually had an audition. We went to the audition, and
the rest is history.
The rest is history. Well, you did have, excuse me, a tremendous story on Britain's Got Talent, because we're talking about these guys, the finalists, and it was that moment, Jonathan, that I think that you've probably heard loads of people say this before, that really, the hairs on the back of your neck just stood on end the minute you guys started singing. A lot of people have compared it to the Susan Boyle moment, where you get people walking on the stage, you look at the audience and it's kind of, yeah, well, whatever. And I don't mean that to be rude, but that is genuinely what people were thinking. And then you guys just blew them away. Jonathan, when you knew you were actually going to go on and you were standing on that stage, about to sing in front of Simon Cowell and the others, what was actually going through your mind? Did you think that I'm going to blow them away, or I don't know how this is going to go?
I don't think anything was going through my mind at the time. I mean, literally, when you're on that stage, you see like so many people in the background, the Hammersmith Apollo basically full, and then the four judges, and your mind just blanks out. You look around this place and it's like, am I really here? Is this okay? Is this like real? And when you actually get to perform on there, it's just, I was just shaking, and I couldn't contain myself.
Well, it's been an amazing story for both of you, really. And, you know, to think that, Charlotte, I have to say this, I hope you don't mind, but you're probably, again, fed up listening to this, but to think that if we look at that first audition and we look back to the early days in your journey on Britain's Got Talent, Simon Cowell was actually quite happy for Jonathan to be on his own.
yeah.
I mean, what was that all about? I mean, that must have been an awful scenario when you heard that.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be on stage and to kind of have that happen, and to hear that when you're kind of stood in front of thousands of people and know that it's going to go on telly to millions of people, I think it's a lot to take in at the time, but I think Johnny dealt with it very well.
Just about.
And yeah, I mean, in that moment, I was completely reliant on Johnny and his decision.
It must have really made your day when, you know, at the end of it all, that you're getting offered £1 million contract from the man who said, well, maybe we should actually split you guys up. That would have kind of sealed it for you, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. It was a great feeling to kind of stand opposite Simon Cowell and hear him say it was wrong. That was a great feeling.
Yeah. That doesn't happen very often. I mean, that's a claim to fame in and of itself. From when Britain's Got Talent, from, you know, when that all finished, the finals, etc., what has been the response from the public to you guys?
It's been just overwhelmingly positive.
We've had so much support from people kind of online and coming to gigs, and I mean, we had a tour earlier this year, and the kind of support and feedback we got from people that came to see us was amazing for us, and it's so nice to kind of actually hear it from people.
And I think as well, I mean, it's a lovely story too, and people love a story, a rags to riches story, as it were. You know, the underdogs coming through, the ones that stand on the stage and you think that this isn't going to happen, and then they open their mouths, as this pair did, and just kind of blew not just the judges, but so many of us away. As I said, voices that truly make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up on edge. This is the album that we're looking at, Again, we're talking about no P&P here. Do actually get on the phones and place your order, because the last time these guys were here, the phone lines went absolutely crazy. We've secured advanced orders here. This isn't going to be released until that date on your screen. We won't take any money out of your account until we dispatch it to you. £9.97 is the price. However, I think we'll have another little listen to these guys. Absolutely, I mean, just a musical genius. Have a listen to this. We'll be back in a moment.
Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort, it's there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love will bring you home.
Perhaps love is like a window, perhaps an open door. It invites you to come closer, it wants to show you more. And even if you lose yourself and don't know what to do, the memory of love will see you through.
Oh, love to some is like a cloud, to some as strong as steel.
For some a way of living, for some a way to feel.
Some say love is holding on, and some say letting go. And some say love is everything, some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain. Like a fire when it's cold outside, or thunder when it rains. If I should live forever, and all my dreams come true, my memories of love will be of you. Some say love is holding on, and some say letting go.
Some say love is everything, some say they don't know.
Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain. Like a fire when it's cold outside, or thunder when it rains. If I should live forever, and all my dreams come true.
My memories of love will be
Jonathan and Charlotte, they're £9.97 for a real feast on this particular CD. It is brand new today. We're looking at the week commencing the 14th of October, so we are I mean, it's next week, but we're thrilled to have you guys here in the studio. And so many beautiful, beautiful tracks. I mean, the talent speaks for itself. The story we love, the rags to riches, that moment where, you know, and if you haven't watched that of late, I encourage you, go on the internet and look it up again. That moment where, I have to say, Jonathan, you look petrified. And you just look a bit stunned, Charlotte, to be honest, during that
The whole
audition.
situation, yeah.
I think that was pretty much the case. I mean, I was...
What did you think, that moment where everybody rose to their feet, when the judges, when Simon Cowell was on his feet applauding? I mean, how did that make you feel?
It's another one of those incomprehensible moments, like, just... There are things that happen in your life that you sometimes just don't understand, and that's most definitely one of those.
It's also like this Mexican wave of heads just sort of...
Oh, it is amazing. and we really wish you well. I know that the world has got a lot more for you in store, and you certainly, the pair of you, have a lot more to offer us too. If you want to go for the CD, either for yourself or maybe one for you and one as a gift, maybe giving it later on in the year, £9.97 is the price. 504045 is your item number. We're going to go to the phone lines though, because